Today I am going to share something truly interesting. From this, you will understand the necessity of design in piping and also how the design is being done in the real world. In this video, I will share the details of one of my projects where I will exactly tell you the step-by-step work we have done, right from how we kicked off, what are the inputs we received, what are the studies we have done, and what kind of design was finalized, and the problems we have faced, and how we have finally packaged it and delivered. So this is going to be little bit descriptive, so I want you to just hold on for another few minutes. And I'm Subhash Chandran. Those who do not know about myself, I'm a lead design engineer with an experience of 21 years in oil and gas, petrochemical and refineries industries, running this channel Pymedaca for those who wants to learn the real job skills. So if you want to get into piping design engineering, all you have to do is to subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. For now, without wasting your time, let's begin. Well, to give you a clear step-by-step details about the work we have done, here I have considered a small project where all design elements are covered. This is the title of the project. Replace the Y strainer to basket strainer due to frequent integrity issue. This sounds simple and straight, right? But this is not the full engineering scope. When you receive a project, generally you will receive a bunch of documents with a markup in the P&ID. Then you will have to go through these documents and P&ID and understand the scope. Then it becomes your responsibility to analyze the scope and include the associated modification in your estimate. You will have to predict the problems that you might face during engineering and include during the estimation itself. If you miss out any activities in the estimate, you will never get an opportunity to include it again. So here you will have to carefully go through these documents and understand the scopes and include all the associated modification based on your experience and your analysis. Once you understood the scope of engineering, you can confidently do the estimate and it goes for approval, and once the estimate is approved, then the project will kick off with the deadline. That is where your actual work starts. The first thing in engineering is to do the piping study. To be frank, you will have to do the conceptual study before the estimation stage itself in order to understand the full scope of engineering. But once the project gets kicked off and your time starts running, then your first step is to complete your piping study. So here you need to determine the full scope of engineering and the associated modification for which you will have to deliver the documents and deliverables to the client. Here your intention is to provide the universal solution that improves the overall condition of the plant, but not to create any new problems. So you will have to analyze your solution in such a way in different aspects to see whether it is not creating any other new problems. Now let me show you the P&ID for this scope. This is the P&ID for this scope. You can read it out over here, the oil station booster pump. This is an exact representation of the original P&ID because I cannot share the original P&ID due to the contractual terms. From this P&ID you can understand the scope. Pumps are shown here, suction lines are shown here, discharge lines are shown here, and the strainer to be replaced also is clouded. So this scope is typical for all three pumps in the suction lines. You can read out the suction lines, which has an arrangement of isolation well, spectacle blind, then the control well, and then strainer, and then it goes to the pump suction. And all three suction lines comes from the common piping header. Now I will show you the piping layout for the same arrangement. The same arrangement has been typically reflected here, but for the sake of this video, I have only represented the suction line. I have not represented a discharge line to avoid contractual terms. So let me show you the arrangement over here, which is exactly as same as the P&ID. You can read out the piping layout that starts from the isolation valve, and then the spectacle blind, and then the control valve, and then the strainer, and then it goes to the pump section. It is exactly meeting the P&ID. Now the strainer which needs to be replaced has been marked over here. So you have the P&ID and the piping layout with you. Now you have to start the piping study. Now I will show you how to start the piping study. Generally, the piping studies are being done in the 2D platforms because that is one of the most easiest way to do it. So let's start the study. So this is the piping layout. Piping layout is a view from top, right? So you can see the arrangement over here clearly that goes to the pump. So now we know this is the strainer that needs to be replaced. So in order to replace this strainer with the basket strainer, I need to get the dimension of the basket strainer. I can get the basket strainer details from the static team and the foundation details of the basket strainer from the civil team. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the foundation details of the basket strainer. I'm going to superimpose over here to see whether I can exactly install the basket strainer over here or not. So from plan view, I don't see any issue. I can exactly place it over here because the basket strainer will have a flange and which needs a little bit of a modification in piping, but still I can place it over here. That is what I can understand from the plan. But that is not enough. You will have to check in the elevation view also, right? So let me show you the elevation view. This is the elevation view. So from the elevation view, I can clearly see that existing Y strainer does not have a support, but the new basket strainer requires a support. So the first thing over here you need to see is whether is there anything underneath of the basket strainer. You need to see whether is there any underground lines or cables running below this basket strainer where you have placed. So I'm going to explore those underground cables and piping by using the underground GAs. So I could see over here the underground GAs shows that underground cables are exactly underneath the location what we have chosen. So it is pretty much evident that I cannot place the basket strainer over here because I cannot remove the underground cable. It is fixed. It does not have the flexibility to move. So all I have to do is to move the filter here and there in order to see whether I can find a better location or not. So I could see a spool of piping over here. So I'm going to push the strainer a little bit in front in order to see whether I can place it or not. So I'm going to place it over here. But after placing over here, I can see that it is exactly clashing with the pump shelter. Pump shelter is an area which has a paved concreted platform. So if you have to place a new basket strainer, you will have to demolish the parts of the concrete platform, which is not recommended. So it is pretty much evident that I cannot place a basket strainer in the pump shelter. So what I have to do is I will have to make the other arrangement in order to place the strainer. Now let me see whether I can make any other arrangement or not. So here I can see a spool over here, an isolation valve, control valve and supports and everything. So what I can do over here is I can shift the strainer to this place. But there is an existing support. This is an existing support. So I have to remove this existing support for installing the new strainer. But the problem is that though I can do this, I might need one more support over here, so which I may not be able to provide because of the underground cable. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to retain this support and install the basket strainer in place of the control valve, where exactly I can place the basket strainer. I will also have the support at the downstream of the strainer. So as far as the piping of the strainer is concerned, I will have the support. I will not have any issues. Now what I have to do, how I have to arrange the control valve and isolation valve. I need to push all these things a little bit in the upstream side so that I can arrange it completely. So let me just rearrange it and see whether I can fix it or not. This is the new arrangement over here. So I just modified the piping, modified the location of the strainer and the supports in such a way that I can reuse one support from here. So I have finalized the routing. So in this way, I can confidently say that my strainer can be placed. Now I'm just going to review, is there any other problem? Am I changing anything else? I'm not changing anything else because the line was straight right from the beginning. I'm not putting any obstructions. I'm only installing the filter over here. I also check the underground details. The new filter location does not have any issues in the underground. So everything is fine for installing the new filter as per this arrangement. But this is not the end of engineering. Once you complete your piping study, then you will have to finalize your detail engineering. What is detail engineering? Detail engineering in the sense you will have to put exactly in terms of dimension. You will have to do the stress analysis. You will have to find whether all stress analysis comments are taken care or not. If not, you will need to find a different options to do the modifications. So now the next thing is the detail engineering. But before going to detail engineering, let's summarize the problems we have encountered during our study. The first problem we have encountered during our study is the underground cable, because of which we are unable to place the basket strainer in the same location. Then what we did? We pushed the strainer to the downstream side to see the possibilities, and there also it is clashing with the pump shelter. Then we tried to place the strainer in the upstream side. There also it is clashing with the existing support. Then again we pushed little more down to the upstream side and found the right place and rearranged the control valve, isolation valve and the existing support arrangements. Detail engineering. During detail engineering, the first thing you have to do is to finalize the piping layout dimensionally. You need to ensure that all dimensions are appropriately considered and modeled in the 3D model, and the same has been reflected in the piping layout. In projects where you have a 3D model, you will go with the 3D model, or in projects where you only have a 2D, you will go with the 2D. But dimensionally, it needs to be fixed in the layout. And once dimensionally it is fixed, you need to pass this input to the stress analysis team in order to conduct the stress analysis, because it is a critical equipment pump. For all pumps, suction and discharge piping, you need to do the stress analysis. Only then you can confirm your routing is right or not. Now we are going to share this information to the stress analysis, and we are going to see whether what is their recommendation for this particular routing. Now we have received the recommendation from stress analysis. Let's explore their comments. This is the comments of stress analysis team. What they have pointed out over here is the loads of the limit stop is going high, and the loads of this strainer nozzle is also going high. So they are proposing to improve the flexibility of the line by changing the routing little bit at the upstream side by putting 2 more elbows. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go and check with the process engineer whether putting a 2 more elbow is okay or not. If this is not acceptable, you cannot implement this solution. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check with the process engineer and I'm going to take a concurrence. So the process engineer has confirmed, yes, it can be implemented. You can have 2 more elbows, is perfectly for them with the available pressure drop calculations they have. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just rearrange the piping in order to meet this new proposal from stress analysis team. I'm going to see whether it can be implemented in terms of dimension, because at times you might have to see the new routing is causing any other trouble or not. So I'm going to do a little bit of a study in order to see whether this routing is acceptable or not. So I'm going to put it in the layout and see whether is there any underground clashes for the supports or something, because they have recommended some supports over here. So I'm going to see whether it is exactly acceptable to have this arrangement or not. So what I can see is that it is not causing any other trouble, because we are just going to do a little bit of modification at the upstream side, and the support location is also not causing any trouble. So I'm going to give a confirmation to the stress analysis that this routing is perfectly okay. So once after giving a confirmation to stress analysis, again let them recheck and see whether all the loads of the limit stop and as well as the nozzle loads are within the allowable limit or not. Once you take a confirmation from stress analysis, and then we will have to face the client. Now the question is, what if the stress analysis team once again comes with a comment you will have to incorporate, because stress analysis is an important activity that safeguards the piping, supports and the equipments. So you cannot simply skip the comments of the stress analysis. You need to work on different options to see which option works better until you meet the requirement of the stress analysis team. In our case, the first proposed option itself have worked. So now with this, I'm going to face the client. Client review. During client review, you need to produce your design and explain the justification for all the modification with facts. Client might ask you lots of questions and you have to justify them with evidences showing all your studies during the conceptual, studies during the engineering, studies after the stress analysis, and tell them stress analysis had an impact. Because of stress analysis, the kind of modification that you have made in the design, and why you have reused a particular support, why you have not done this modification and why you have gone for this modification, and how economically you have designed your solution, why it is not causing any other trouble, how it is improving the overall conditions. All these justifications you have to do during the client review. And once client approves your design, all you have to do is to deliver the project. Now we are at the final stage of the project. Final stage of the project is to deliver the agreed documents to the client, for which you need to go through the contractual terms what has been agreed to deliver. It could be a 3D model, it could be piping GAs, both construction GAs and demolition GAs, it could be isometrics and tie-in list, MTO, or engineering reports or support drawings or any specifications that you have considered as a deliverable in your contractual terms. You have to strictly follow the contractual terms in order to submit the final deliverable. Compile all the documents in one package and send it as an engineering package. Here, the most important thing is you need to deliver this engineering package with respect to the project schedule. You should not exceed the project schedule because there are clients will backcharge you if you exceed the project schedule. So you will always have to ensure that you are meeting the deadlines. Right from the start of the project, you need to have a track of the project schedule. Otherwise, it is going to complicate the process. Before ending this video, let's summarize what we have seen so far. When you receive a project, you have to do a conceptual studies in order to do the estimations rightly. And once the estimation is agreed and you have to complete your study, and during your study, all you have to do is that you need to provide a universal solution that improves the overall condition of the plant. You should not provide a solution that creates a new problem. So you have seen that how we have analyzed each and every problem and provided a solution. Likewise, you need to identify the problem and provide a solution. And when you're changing the existing routing, you need to see whether your new routing is creating a new problem or not. If it is creating a new problem, you need to provide a solution for that also. And as a piping design engineer, you have to take the entire responsibility of your design. Justify each and every corner of your design. You will have to see every single details carefully and justify why it is designed so. That is how a piping design engineer improves his knowledge. And over time, when you work in multiple projects, project after project, you will get new learnings. So that will improve your knowledge. Hope this video has given you an insight about the real work. I will meet you with another fantastic video. Until then, bye from Subhash Chandran.